My husband asks when can we do a paternity test. I stopped mid-push, looked at my husband and screamed what the EFF. The nurse was silent, looking back and forth between me and husband. The doctor then looks at DH and says, "Sir, we are here to deliver and take care of babies. If you have other personal relationship issues, you need to figure that out afterwards. We focus on the baby and mom. This is not the place to ask questions like that." I immediately start crying hysterically and babbling stuff like it's not like that. It's his baby. His mom is psycho and stuff. I am so mortified at the thought that these nurses and doctors now think there's a chance my baby isn't my husband's and there's no way I can explain the situation to them. I immediately felt judged by the nurse and couldn't help but feel like I had been robbed of a beautiful moment. After the baby came out I just held her and she was beautiful and perfect, but I was so distraught. I couldn't look at husband and I hate to admit this, but I wouldn't let him hold her. He left and when he came back about an hour later he said that his mom wanted pictures of the baby and he took out his phone and I smacked it out of his hand. He got angry and left. My sister had to pick us up from the hospital and took us home 2 days later. In my state you have to take the baby back in 2 days after being home to do tests and a checkup to make sure baby is maintaining weight and that there's no obvious signs on neglect. So we took her in for the check and then went to a clinic to do the paternity test the same day. The next few days at home were awful. I can't even look at him, and he has avoided being around me or the baby for days. He barely has even looked at her, and is practically ignoring our oldest daughter. We got in a fight because I was trying to feed the baby and my oldest daughter was crying because Netflix wasn't working and I started crying because I was so overwhelmed and he just looked at our daughter and said mommy didn't pay the Netflix bill because she's mad at grandma. I yelled at him to not say crap like that to a child. He said he just thought I didn't pay it because his mom uses our account at her house. I just forgot to pay it. It had nothing to do with that. He made several comments to our daughter over the next few days like daddy's going to go see grandma, you can't come because mommy hates grandma. Then leave me with a hysterical 2-year-old and a newborn. I'm not going to lie, I know that I'm dealing with crazy hormones and this is a horrible patch, but I seriously considered telling him I wanted a divorce right there and then. We got the results for the paternity test 3 days later, and he's the father. He cried and told me he never doubted it and that he knew he was the dad. I told him that we would do a second test on our oldest daughter and that I was going to start packing our stuff and I was going to move in with my sister. He bawled and said he didn't need one for our oldest daughter. I demanded we take one, as I would want it as proof for court whenever we get to have my case heard. I told him that I never cheated on anyone in my life including him and how much it hurt me that he said that in the hospital room and made the nurses and doctors think he doubted our daughter at all. He tried to apologize and hug me but I pushed him away and told him he should leave while I packed up some things. My oldest daughter, my baby and myself are now staying at my sister's house and he has told me that he refuses to take the second paternity test for our oldest daughter and is going to make his mom write out a very long apology letter to me. He wants me to come home but I just can't even look at him the same. I feel like all the love I had for him has been ripped away and I feel so angry towards him. I'm just trying to take care of our girls but he won't stop calling me. I told him he can see the girls anytime he wants but he can't take them near his mom and she is not allowed to be around them at all.